So, if you've been watching me for a minute, I have been talking about that there is somewhat of a depression that's coming to hit, and it's not necessarily a recession because we've been in a recession, but for whatever reason, they don't want to call it. I am under the thought that they don't want to call it because it's almost like they're trying to wait for the entire globe to be in a recession. I don't know. They're playing sick games. However, God is just, God does loves his children. I also have talked about how if you read the book of Genesis, right, going around in verse 41, for it was, God has really been pushing me to stick to that area. And this is how I knew that we were in a recession and we've been in a recession. But if you look at chapter 41 in Genesis, right, starting from there in the instructions that God had gave Joseph and the wisdom that God gave Joseph of how to navigate the famine that was going to hit the earth. So Joseph gives the direction to Pharaoh basically to spare him. But what I think people don't pay attention to or they overlook is the fact that God gave a warning before the famine came. He gave the warning through a king. And the warning was not through it. Pharaoh wasn't a believer, guys. Let's just be here. Let's just be clear. But it was the fact that there was somebody in position to be able to go to the counsel of God to basically find out from God, hey, what do we do with this situation? God gave them 7 years to prepare. And a lot of times, this makes me look at whenever there's a plague, a famine, a recession, was God speaking? How was he speaking? Who did he speak to? Did you ignore it? Were you just living your best life and ignoring it? Were you listening to God when God was giving you the unction? Get out of debt, save up your coins, move a little different, start stocking up on things. And we have heard some prophets, because I have heard some prophets who have been telling people to stock up. But I myself was saying, hey, go read X, Y, and Z. Like there's instructions on how to navigate stuff. The end of chapter 41, right around 55, one of the things that I noticed that highlighted to me was it said that the famine hit the whole earth. So when something hits the whole earth, that is for Christians, that is for unbelievers, that is for everyone in between. It hit the whole earth. Now, I have heard and I have read about Goshen, right? However, prior to Goshen, if you read in chapter 42, the people, like Joseph people, they were getting hit by the famine. That's the reason why they went to Egypt for food in the first place. So that makes me be under the thought that, A, did they not get the direction that there was a famine going to hit the earth, or did they do get the direction and they just ran out? Because prior to them even being rescued to Goshen, they were hit. So hopefully this is a sign. Hopefully this is some encouragement. Go to God about, hey God, I know I'm being oblivious to certain things, or I'm just in my own mind like I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. But am I good? Is there something that I should pay attention to? Is there something I should hone in on? You guys heard plenty were stock up videos from people who were prophets, from people who were just random. Shoot, I knew to stock up because of farmers. This was before I was even heard of, a prophet said it. I heard from farmers to stock up. This is the time for you to get into the word of God. I do know that there is something, a dark winter is coming. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it has anything to do with food or whatever the case may be. I'm not sure what it is. However, what I do know is that the protection will be in the word of God. The protection will be prayer. The protection will be going to the face of heaven. That will be the protection. There's a dark winter that is coming. I know people don't like to hear stuff like that. As a matter of fact, they like to say, preach Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Well, I don't know what to say, because I thought this was, warning God's people is what Jesus would want. But anyways, go before God, and that's all I got to say about that. Until the next one.